What's up everybody, once again my name is Matt and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda the Minish Cap. In the previous video we basically did a couple of side quests and then made our way all the way here to the Fortress of Wind. So now it's time to take on the third temple of the game. To think the ruins were hidden within this cliff the whole time. Watch your step, Link. There may be traps here. Aslo, it's a freaking dungeon, dude! Of course there's gonna be traps here, like, it wouldn't be much of a dungeon if there weren't traps here. I mean, you should be more surprised of the fact that there are living skeletons trying to kill us right now, and not traps. Jeez, man. These bats are actually kinda hard to see, like, I don't know if it's the screen that I'm playing this game on, but they sort of blended into the wall there for a second. Whatever, not a huge deal. As you can imagine, yeah, your bow is going to be quintessential for making your way through this dungeon because there's going to be a lot of eye switches that we're going to have to hit. What I do like about Minish Cap is that, it uses items that you acquire, like in other areas in the dungeons, which, I mean, yeah, other Zelda games do, but I feel like Minish Cap does it a little bit better because in typical Zelda games, like, the formula is, you know, go into said dungeon, solve some pretty basic puzzles, find the item, then you're basically using that item exclusively to solve the rest of the dungeon. And Minish Cap does that to a certain extent, but it also does make use of your other items. Like, for instance, we'll be using the bow, the Pegasus boots, and a whole bunch of other stuff in this dungeon, which I think is really cool, and it's something that I think more Zelda games should strive to do. Just make use of everything that you've given the player. There is a switch that we can't get right now, although keep that in mind because we'll be coming back for that pretty much as soon as we can. Now, I guess you could say that this temple is slightly less linear than the others because at the beginning, even though I really didn't show it off, there were 3 different pathways that you can go down. And of those 3, both the left and the right pathway would more or less allow you to do the same amount of progress. Although I'm going through it the way that I think is the fastest and most efficient way, so that's kind of why I went down the left path. Anyways, in here we need to activate both those switches, so let's drop our clone here very quickly, and just you know what, I keep doing that, man. I always forget you can't walk over a tile, like, no matter what, you need to go all the way around. So let me actually destroy that clone and make a new one. Sometimes you can cheese it where, like, if you stand on the very, very edge of one of the switches, you can still press it down and get your clone to activate the other one, but yeah, I don't think you can do it here. Also, what's kind of weird is, like, when you have your clone out, you can't use items like your bow, which is understandable, I guess, but also it would be so cool if they actually let you and your clone fire an arrow at the same time. Like, imagine just having 2 or more Links firing a barrage of arrows at enemies or bosses. It would be really sweet. Anyways, now that those guys are gone, let's open up this chest and get ourselves the compass. Honestly, not really too useful. Like, the map and the compass, I really don't need them since, obviously, I've played this game before and I know what I'm doing because I've practiced the dungeon. I sort of picked them up as a courtesy, but yeah, you can totally skip them, especially in these 2D games where they're not exactly required. I am kind of curious, like, are you guys like me where you pretty much never use the dungeon map? Because even on my, like, first playthrough of certain Zelda games, I'll very rarely look at the map unless I'm actively seeking out a secret or a key or something like that. I don't know, they seem kind of useless to me. Alright, now let's just carefully... Really? I can't believe I just did that. That was so stupid, dude. All I have to do is freaking push this block 1 square to the left. So, oh, I almost messed it up again. Like, the clone was blinking. Ah, jeez. I have a feeling these clone block puzzle things are going to be the bane of my existence in, like, the rest of this playthrough because I just, like, screw them up in the dumbest way possible. Example 142. Alright, let's try this again. You know, I just realized I probably should have just put my clone on the left side instead of the right side. That would have made way more sense, but whatever, we managed to do it, so I guess that works. Let's just pull this switch and get our prize, which is a small key, although it just fell through the entirety of the temple. That's just great. Did something just fall down, or was it just my imagination? No, Eslo, that was definitely a key, and we're going right after it. Hopefully, we can use Eslo as like a parachute to break our fall. Or just, you know, crush our stubby little legs as we land. Now that we got the key, though, you probably would want to go to the right side and get the second small key, but we're going to deviate and head up the center, because now that we have this first small key, we actually can get the item from this temple, and there's a little more like backtrack / collection work we can do on the left side. So for me, it makes sense to get the key from the left side, go through here, grab the item, then go do all that extra stuff on the left side, and then finally we'll make our way to the right side. I know I probably could have explained that like a lot better, but you'll see what I mean in a second. I feel like this is the most efficient way to do it. Alright, let's just avoid those rocks, or I guess blocks, that way they don't knock us off. And be careful in this room, because eventually you'll see, yeah, a shadow appears, and when that happens, you know there's a floor master that's gonna drop down from the ceiling. So I actually do want to get rid of him entirely. There we go. Thankfully, once we kill him, he will not come back. So they're not exactly the most scary thing in this game. But if they grab you, yeah, they will take you back to like the dungeon entrance, which would really stink. Now, in this room, yeah, when you try to leave, a Dark Nut is going to spawn. So I know he looks tough with his sweet-looking white and red axe-headed armor, but he is not any tougher than the previous Dark Nut that we fought in the last video. So I think 4 hits, and he will go down. Although, I will admit, it's a little bit harder to fight these guys when you're facing them from the side. Like, you can't really see what they're doing to parry their attacks. And he does seem to be sticking to the bottom of the screen, but there we go, finally. I took like a crap ton of damage in that fight, but you know what? I think that's the only Dark Nut we'll be fighting in this entire temple, so I don't really care. Plus, there is a piece of heart that we can find a little bit later on in this temple, and that will fully heal us, of course, once we pick that up. It's clear the gimmick in this room is just to follow the blade traps along. You can, like, damage boost through them to go a little bit faster. It's just, I don't want to take the extra damage right now. Alright, so this will lead us back around to the room where we got the map, but those 2 skulls and these weird tiles are pretty suspicious. So, if we place a bomb right in the center, yes, it's going to blow up and reveal a hidden room. And inside, we're going to get the item from this temple, which is the mole mitts. And these are pretty stinking cool. So, let's equip these real quick. And now that we have them, we can dig through like the sand or dirt, whatever, and reach a whole bunch of different areas. Because we've seen a lot of that stuff throughout this temple. Like, especially on the left side where we got that first small key. So, now that we have these, what do you say we do a little bit of backtracking and just, get a few more collectibles, because I know there's a lot of stuff on the left side of this temple that we couldn't pick up. But now that we have the mitts, we can totally go and grab those. And yeah, even in this room, there's a farther left, although that room up there is entirely useless, so I'm not going to bother going in there. I just wanted the blue kinstone piece. And that's pretty much all we're going to do. We're going to backtrack and pick up kinstones. There is that one switch that I pointed out a little bit earlier on as we were going through here. And now that we do the mole mitts, we can actually press that switch down. So, yeah, I mean, besides that, though, we're going back here to pick up kinstone pieces. And it's a good thing, too, because they're red kinstones. And as you guys know, those ones are, like, the hardest ones to find. So, I know it seems stupid, but it's definitely worth going back just to pick up the kinstone pieces alone. Alright, so now that we're here, let's press this down. That activates this chest, and yep, we get ourselves another red kinstone piece. Now that we've gotten that, we're pretty much done with everything on this left side of the temple. Like, I don't think there's any reason for us to ever return here, so let's go all the way back down to the first level and start taking on the right side. you can fall down here just to go a little bit quicker. It saves you like a couple seconds. And you know me, guys, I like to be as efficient as I possibly can, but I also would never speedrun any game ever. It's kind of weird. I don't know why. I mean, I like speedruns and I enjoy watching them, but I could not imagine just like playing the same game over and over and over again to optimize it and play it as fast as possible. I like my casual playthroughs of games where I just play them as efficiently as I can, if that makes any sense. But whatever. Yeah, pull that lever, this chest will appear, and you can get yourself a blue kinstone piece. And guess what? There's a chest on the other side, so I wonder what's inside. Well, it's another blue kinstone piece, of course. Hooray! Alright, if we pull this lever, I believe it just unlocks the door, allowing us to continue on. Now, in the room directly below where we just were, you may have noticed that, there was a Minish tunnel that led to the room on the right. And yes, there was a doorway on the far right in the very first room of this dungeon, and we could have gone in there. However, if we did, you would have noticed that we'd been completely blocked off by a bunch of, like, immovable objects. So yeah, you do need to enter that room as a Minish, and that is where you will find the Piece of Heart. And thankfully, we'll be getting that very soon because I'm basically at half HP and I could totally use a full restore about now. Bro, I swear, these, like, robot statue things are so weird. You basically need to be right on top of their sprite in order for them to activate and notice you. It's really weird. Anyways, yeah, clone yourself and then come over here because we want to activate these two switches, which will unlock this door. And guess what? Here is our first Minish portal. Now, let me make myself very clear. You do not want to jump down right now. Certainly you could and go and get that Piece of Heart, but instead, let's do a few other things first. Mainly activating this robot because he is currently blocking the path of that switch and we really need to pull that switch. So now we can just push that block out of the way. And you know what? I'm just going to kill this guy. I probably don't need to because he was kind enough to move out of the way, but I just don't want to deal with your nonsense right now. And alright, fine, no hearts, whatever, no big deal. Let's just pull this, and guess what? There's a small key. There it goes, all the way down to the bottom. So now we have more than one reason to want to go down to the bottom, and thankfully, we can just use this Minish portal to shrink ourselves down and fall right down to the first floor. We can't pick up the key as a Minish, but no big deal, because if we head over here, there is thankfully a Minish portal in this room. So let's return to our normal size, grab this lovely Piece of Heart, and oh man, we need one more to fill up a heart container. You know what? I should have grabbed that other one that I thought you needed to grab after you complete this temple, but I don't actually think you need to. I'm pretty sure I could have grabbed it before I went in here. And if I did get it, I would have completed like another heart container, but oh well, whatever. You know what? To make it up to you guys, I will grab it the second we finish this temple, which should be pretty soon. Like, we're almost done. Real quick, let's grab your Pegasus boost because we're going to need it. And we're going to pull this switch and hold it for a second, then use your Pegasus boost to charge across. Phew, we barely made it. I was certain we'd run out of time. As though, we had plenty of time, dude. Don't you worry. Ah, crap, there's a bunch of Floor Masters in here, dude. Oh, man, you know what? I think we can... Oh, actually, no, we can't. We do need to kill all of them. Oh, no. And of course, yeah, the two that we killed respawn because, like, we didn't kill all of them. But no big deal. They die pretty easily. That actually does cause this Minish portal to spawn, but we don't want to make use of it just yet. There is, like, a Minish hole over there we can use, but we have to solve, like, a puzzle as adult, normal-size Link first. I don't know why I said adult Link when technically this is Toon Link, but whatever. Who cares? This puzzle is actually really clever. So what you want to do here is offset these statues onto the switches. Like, your first thought might be to just stack them right next to each other, but you do not want to do that. Offset them like so, and then what you want to do here is put your clone on this tile, then bring Link all the way over to this one, and now just like put your clone all the way down, We can go through and around and basically do that just so your clone doesn't accidentally hit any walls and like get dissolved, and that'll cause this key to appear. Now that we have it, I guess we'll just hide underneath these freaking spike things instead of tanking the damage. But you want to unlock this door, and make sure you unlock the door because you cannot open doors as a Minish. Now that you've done that though, it's actually turned into a Minish, and we want to go into that room in our Minish form. It's pretty much the first time I think we've ever done this inside a temple, so the concept is kind of new, a little strange, I know, but bear with me. Yes, you can do this. And you know what? I'm just gonna like go right through these freaking spike traps. I don't even care, man. They only do like a quarter heart of damage, so doesn't even matter. Let's quickly head up here because I think there was another small key that we can get in this room by stepping on this switch. Ah, yes, there we go. And I want to be a little bit careful digging through here because there are those electric enemies, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, if we dig that way, we can pretty much avoid all of them. Now that we got that small key, oh yeah, I do need to shrink down again, don't I? Because obviously I cannot squeeze through that little tiny Minish-sized hole. No worries though, we can just jump down here, and I think these floor masters will ignore us until we become big, but yeah, we should probably just play it safe and get rid of them, huh? It's a good thing, like, they don't respawn once you get rid of them, so makes my life a heck of a lot easier, that's for sure. Alright, all we have left to do is get the big key, and yeah, that was the chest for it, like, in that last room on the upper right. Now, it is worth noting that the chest was on the right side. That is actually an important factoid, so keep that in the back of your mind, because we're basically going to be falling from above the chest, and you're going to have two options, right or left. And obviously, if you pick left, you're not going to land near the chest. So pick right, and guess what? There is the chest, and now we got ourselves the big key. So let's make a beeline directly for the boss door. And thankfully, whoever designed this temple was pretty smart, because it puts us basically in front of the boss door. Like, this is the room where we got the dungeon map. If we just go to the south exit, it takes us essentially to the boss. So real quick, let's dig out this totem statue, whatever you want to call it, and place it on this switch, because you already know I want what's inside this chest. It's a blue kinstone piece, baby. What would I have done without that one kinstone piece? The answer is I have no idea. Also, yeah, we can push this and make a portal back to the entrance, but no reason to go through there because it's boss time, baby. So let's freaking do it. Can I get a heart, please? I just want to be at full HP. All right, oh, you know what? Let's be careful because the hitboxes on those, like, electric enemies are a little bit strange. Now, you're going to want your bow for the majority of this fight. You will be making use of the mitts, but, not until a little bit later. So if you've played Wind Waker, specifically the Tower of the Gods, the boss in that temple is essentially the same as the boss in this temple. Like, this is the 2D version, if you will, which is kind of cool. So what you want to do is just simply shoot the eyeballs in the hands, and then of course slash at the eyeballs once they fall out. It's as simple as that, at least for this phase, but there's more than meets the eye to this fight. So yeah, once you take out both eyes, shrink down into a Minish and go inside the boss itself. Then you're going to want to slash at like whichever column has the weird eye spiderweb thing on it. You want to do that 3 times. That's really all there is to this fight. On hits 2 and 3, the inside will be like completely covered in dirt or sand or whatever you want to call it. So you will need to use the mitts to like dig through that. And occasionally, if you take too long, there will be like a blue version of the crane that comes to pick you up after you blow up the pillar. And you can fight off the blue crane though to stay inside a little bit longer. But 9 times out of 10, it shouldn't take you that long to find the pillar you need to actually slash at. It is completely randomized though, so you will have to dig around, and you might not get as lucky as I'm getting, because that was pretty dang good. Alright, only one more hit to go. Yeah, this fight is not too hard at all. But then again, I think there's a reason for that, and you'll see why once we actually finish said fight. So let's get rid of that arm, and oh yeah, that was pretty freaking good. And there we go. Now let's shrink down and make our way inside for the final time. I do like how involved this fight is though. Like, you use multiple items, you also shrink down to the size of a Minish. It's pretty stinking cool if you ask me. Alright, so where is... There it is. Alright, yeah, I don't know why I thought I needed to equip something. I could just swing my sword, and bam, the boss is dead. Sweet, we did it! Another temple completed. That's strange though. There's no element. I mean, we got ourselves a heart container and a new area opened up, so maybe up here is where we'll find the element? I mean, there's a picture of it on the floor, but let's check out this stone slab then. We are the tribe of the winds. Long have we lived with the winds. We have mastered them. Now we join them. Together with the great winds at our backs, we head for the skies. Those who come seeking our power must play the notes Zephyr teaches. May they lead you onward to the power that you seek. Well, what the heck does that mean? Oh, hey, look, an ocarina. And we got the Ocarina of Wind. Not time. North, south, east, and west are all just a breath away. I do believe this is where the tribe of the winds once lived. Oh, really? You just figured that out yourself? So they left for the heavens and taken their element with them. It looks like the wind element is beyond our reach for the time being. We have no choice but to press on. Let's get out of here. Yeah, unfortunately, this time around we do not get an element. The element was not here, but at least now we have a clue to its whereabouts. You must use the Ocarina of Wind to open a new path. Well, there's no point in standing around. Go get that last element. Alright, I'm on it. Calm down, even though it's not really the last element, because we still technically have 2 to get. I mean, we didn't get the wind element, we just kind of know where it is. Anyways, like I said, I want to go and pick up that piece of heart, so this really shouldn't take us longer than like a few seconds. Let's just create this shortcut and turn into a Minish, and I think we just have to go like 2 screens, and we should be able to find that piece of heart no problem. I'm not really sure why I thought like you had to complete the temple first, because yeah, you definitely don't to grab this, but oh well, whatever. I suppose it really doesn't make that much of a difference. Like, I mean, does it really matter if I picked it up before or after the temple? Either way, I'm still getting the piece of heart and completing another heart container around the same time. And you know what? I didn't even need the extra heart container. Like, that boss was so stupid easy, it barely did any damage to me. And there we go, baby. Piece of heart, another heart container. Actually, that starts our second row of hearts. That's pretty impressive. I mean, I usually say this whenever I play a Zelda game, but your hearts sort of serve as a quick glance like where you are in the game. So now that we are on the second row, you could technically say we're a little over halfway done, which is kind of accurate because there's only 6 temples, I believe, in this game, and we just finished the 3rd one, so I guess we truly are around halfway done with this game. Minish Cap is pretty short, guys. Alright, now that that is done, I think that's actually where I'm going to end off this video. So if you guys enjoyed this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.